Meeting. Okay, we're going to call the Park and Recreation Commission meeting to order. It's Monday, August 2nd. So, again, we don't see much public forum here, do we?
Nobody.
Nobody comes online, I guess. All right, we do have quite a bit of correspondence this time around, though. We have the series of letters between you and the Hedbergs, and I guess the bottom line is that they will be putting the little library at Bittner near the playground. Is that right?
Yeah. I met with them there, and we picked a spot, and so they're it's on order.
Perfect. I think that's a perfect spot for it because people go there and play, and it'll be nice.
Yeah.
All right. We also have a letter from David Mills, who basically thought the fireworks were the best fireworks they had ever seen. And I thought they were great as well. It was a good night to be out there. It was beautiful. And I think you all got the email from Mount Renola about Bill Wallach's dedication of the Bill Wallach soccer field. So that's going to be Saturday, September 25th, 1:30 in the afternoon. And we have an email from Ed Green sent to Ellen and Rick, basically thanking them for all their time and effort to get the game scheduled. The attention to detail and organization, he says, are truly amazing. And he wanted to thank Tony and the crew, saying that they are pure professionals, and it was greatly appreciated the day that they got out and cut in line to Bittner for a game that evening. This was the women's soccer. So that worked out really quite nicely. And lastly, we have an email from Alicia Gagnon, who, well, let me just read it. I want to say how grateful I am to the lifeguard at Lake Quanapog Monday evening. He pulled my 5-year-old out of the water because he recognized that she was struggling before I did. I've always been impressed with how well the lifeguards at the lake do their job. They're always alert, and I always feel 100% safe when I take my kids there. And he has also witnessed them conducting themselves professionally many times when people tend to be rude. So I think we should be very proud of our lifeguards.
Yeah, Rose, if I could just add something, I got one, I think Friday night, an email from somebody, also very complimentary to the staff at Jacobs Beach, especially. And we hear from Quanapog too, but in this particular instance, I don't have the email in here. I got it, like I said, Friday night. But she was said you were at the beach, and no, I'm sorry, no, I got it Saturday morning. Saturday morning, I got it. It's going to happen Saturday. But anyway, I guess somebody was struggling with an umbrella, trying to get it in the ground. She mentioned how one of the guards went and grabbed a shovel, dug the hole to help get the umbrella in. Somebody else was struggling with their chairs, were kind of moving around with the wind. A guard went over and helped with that. And her comment was, I feel like I'm at a resort. She was very, very, very appreciative of the aquatic staff. And I went there that afternoon to share that with them. I went right to the beach. The staff were there. I met with all of them individually and said, hey, look, thank you for what you're doing here. And here's, because of what you're doing, people are recognizing this, and thank you for the great job you're doing.
Hey, Rose and Rick, if I can comment on the email to regarding the fields, how Tony and the guys are doing a great job. To those, and I understand that their pay is subject to union contract, and we have no say in that. But do we forward these emails to the personnel director? I assume.
Sometimes we do. I don't know about those, but the guys get them. Tony gets it, and if I get anything, I make sure, just like I did with the lifeguards, that goes out to the guys because they're the ones doing the work. Sometimes I hear it because I'm just in that position, but it doesn't go to me. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the people who are doing the work. So we always do that. The maintenance guys, like that one with Ed Green, was Tony copied on that one? He was. So he gets it, and I'm sure he tells the guys the same thing.
Yeah, no, I'm just throwing out here, and I don't know, but maybe forward these to the personnel director, at town hall.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a good idea.
I mean, it's all well and good getting a pat on the back, but as we all know, putting money in the paycheck, that's what really makes the difference. And I mean, I don't go to a lot of these fields because my kids no longer play. around the house and gone. So I'm not, but the fields I do go to, I mean, they're in unbelievable shape. And I repeat, I understand that we don't have a say in what these guys and ladies get paid, but it wouldn't hurt to the personnel director and say, hey, you know,
it wouldn't hurt to let them know that they're appreciated. So
yeah, hint.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's yeah, definitely. I think there's some I've sent, but not this one I didn't particularly. But that's a good idea. I should definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have a quorum. Can I get an approval for the minutes of our July 12th meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for July 12th.
Someone second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, additions, corrections? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Abstain. I wasn't there.
Okay. Expenditures. Any questions now on the bills? All right.
I do not. I don't.
Comments? All right, a motion to accept the bills.
Make a motion to accept the bills as presented.
Second. Come on, somebody, second.
I second it.
Thank you. All right, no comments, no questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, great.
Watch out for John. He's behind a steering wheel right now.
Yeah. It's been a long day. And it's still going to get longer.
Okay, director's report. Any questions or comments on the director's report? Wow, guys.
I'll just mention just the first one there about the beach erosion at Lake Quantipoc. You know, this happens a lot of times when we have the big storms. So we got sand there. Fortunately, there was an overcast sort of rainy day. Our guys could spread the sand without people on the beach. And I did talk to the town engineer to come up with some plan, because this is the second time this year this has happened. When we get a lot of rain, it just washes out that beach, and all the sand's going into the lake. And it's a cost. It was like over $2,000 to buy new sand. So she said she'll come up with something, and whether it's a berm or I don't know what, but it's somebody's got to engineer something so this doesn't keep happening.
Yeah.
So she's aware of it. She said she'll work on that.
Rick, was there any sand left over?
Yeah, we have some left in the parking lot that we more than what we needed. We ordered 3 loads. We didn't need all of that. Some of that, I don't know if the guys moved it yet, but we're going to bring it down to Jacobs for the volleyball area and the playground area.
Rick, Claire, I just got a text from Claire that says she's in the car and her Zoom isn't connecting.
Oh.
But she said she should be home in a few minutes, and then she will try to get on her computer. So just keep an eye out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't see her trying to get in.
Yeah. The concert went well. We had a pretty good turnout. Yeah.
Considering it was a little bit iffy weather, but it was good.
Okay.
Rick, just a quick question with the you had your meeting with the fall sports leagues. Is there anything challenging coming up with the use of fields this year?
No. Everything's I think all the fields that they need are going to be available to them. Lacrosse is asking for some fields. Usually they don't do too much in the fall. They weren't actually at the meeting, but they sent an email afterwards. They just need a field 1 day a week. I think it's not a lot. But you know what? Nut Plains, we normally try to keep people off of in the fall, but that field's looking so good right now because all the rain we've had. Mm-hmm. Normally about now it looks like shredded wheat, so dried out. But all the fields are looking pretty good. But to answer your question, no issues. I may have to update them on any COVID issues, which we don't have yet. New guidance if they have to wear masks or not wear masks, or you know what. But I'm sure that something's going to be coming forward on that soon.
Well, doesn't lacrosse have pretty much exclusive use to the field up on County Road? Nobody disturbs them up there.
Well, it's a hay field this time of year. The only time they can use it is for a couple of weeks in the spring.
It's in the spring? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions on Rick's report? All right. Building maintenance report. The only comment I have, Rick, is that, you know, now that I'm coming to the building more often, I think we do need to look at getting those, at least the rectangular tables.
Yeah.
Those replaced, because I mean, there's sharp edges on them. I mean, we got tape on them. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, you know, we held off because that comes out of the program account, and we are building that back up now, though, where their camp is going well.
Okay.
And we haven't heard this officially yet, but we're unofficially heard that the recovery money that this town's getting, we can put that toward lost revenue. So the lost revenue from last year, which is probably close to $400,000, we're hoping that money gets put back in there. Then we have that account that we can draw from for things like tables.
Okay.
So I think we can plan it.
Let's put that sort of on the front burner, because people are going to start catching their clothes and God knows what else on that.
You're right. I do want to highlight one thing, Rose.
Wait. One thing. Claire's in the waiting room.
Oh, Tara is.
Well, Claire, wait a minute.
I don't see Claire. I don't see her in here. I got Tara, but I don't see Claire.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that came from Tara.
Yeah.
It did come from. I'm sorry. It did come from Tara. 917. Yeah.
Tara should be on now.
Okay.
So
I'm here.
You're here. Okay. All right.
I was having a connecting issue, and then I'm here.
On Todd's report under HVAC, I just want to give him a huge shout out. We've been having a lot of trouble getting air conditioning to the proper temperature in the Guilford room, and gone through a lot of different things. He decided to check the what's called the VAV, variable air volume box coil, and when he dug in there, he found that it was kind of clogged up with insulation over the years. I mean, the building's been there since 1993. He vacuumed that out, and that made a huge difference. Huge difference. We were only getting 1,200 to 1,500 CFMs of coolant, of air flow in there. And now we're getting more like 2,500. And by him vacuuming that out, that opened it up and the air is just flowing right in there now. So that's Todd. I mean, he came up with that thought, you know, might be a thing. And he vacuumed it out with Steve kind of helping him out, Steve Neidorf, and that was it. I mean, there's some other things that had to be done too, but this is what got it unclogged.
Right.
Kudos to Todd on that. The last one there on Jacobs Beach, this happened twice now. A week ago Saturday, the septic was backing up. It happened again this past Saturday. We met down there today. Todd, Sonia, our health director, her assistant, and Steve Neidorf and I met down there. And we think we're going to have to add on to the leach field, and that's going to be a cost. We're doing a couple of little tests just to see, but it's 2 weeks in a row. That thing is filled up and backed up, and we had to pump it out, which is not usual. That's not normal to have to do that. So with Sonia's suggestion, we're going to automatically pump it the next 2 Saturday mornings. After that, camp is over, so we won't have, the 150 campers and staff there every day. It'll just be the normal beachgoers and picnic people. So we're hoping that'll help. But I think when we get into the fall, we're going to have to look at creating a bigger leach field because it's just not handling it. It's not handling all that water.
Hey, Rick, there is a the property that's adjacent to Jacobs Beach is going through a construction and digging in for new foundation. Is it possible that some of their runoff may have clogged our septic system?
I think that's what they're putting there is a septic system. I think Joe Nugent had told us that when we were walking there.
No, I think
pretty far away because our septic system is south on the beach side of the bathhouse. The property you're talking about is
way on the other
north of the parking lot. I mean, it's a thought, John, but I think it's pretty far away. I'd be surprised if that has any impact on it.
Yeah,
I think
that's not.
Yeah,
and that's not a septic system they put in. That's an actual foundation. They put a foundation in.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there could be runoff from the other houses that are on the other side of the bathhouse that maybe their runoff is going into our septic system?
Well, it wouldn't go into the tank. And the tank was full. It was pumped out on Saturday. It was full today. It's a 1,000-gallon tank. And I mean, we could do some math, but if there are, it's 2.4 gallons per flush. And easily in a day, we get 500 flushes. That's 1,000 gallons going in there. So in the leach field is not handling that. And so I think Sonia is okay with the tank at this point, but it's not flowing out, excuse me, as much as it should be. So we checked to see if there's any blockage, didn't see anything blocking it. But just in the 5-10 minutes we were looking into the pipe down into the tank, there were like 6 or 8 flushes in those 5 minutes. So think about that. If multiply that out by the number of hours we're open, that's a lot of flushing going on. So
okay. Rather than building an enlarged leaching field, what would be the cost comparison to just having a more routine pumping during the summertime?
That was my question, John, too. Yeah. Does it pay for us to do that, or should we just routinely?
Well, I think long term. So for the last 2 Saturdays, that's $800 it costs us. $400 emergency overtime. The next 2 are going to be scheduled, and they'll be $200 each. So we're going to be spending $1,200 pumping these tanks. When we put that tank in 2013, it was about $3,800. We look back at the bill for that. I don't know what a leach field costs. Probably a lot less than that, I would think. I don't know. We have to, get a little spec and get some quotes on it. But
and this has to come out of our budget, I assume.
Yeah. Okay. But all good thoughts. We're monitoring. We're also going to read the meter Monday through Friday and see how much water is flowing there during the week, and then we'll look at it Friday afternoon and then again Monday morning, see how much over the weekend. There's a lot of people. I roughly calculated that, just without exaggeration, there could be 300 to 500 people at picnics on a weekend, and if they're all using the bathroom, that's at least once. That's 500 flushes.
What we need to realize, Rick, is that when that was originally put in, I don't think the beach was used nearly as much as it's used now.
Correct.
We didn't have the pavilions. We hadn't upgraded it. And I think that property is getting so much more use now than it ever got before.
Yeah.
So we probably do need to really look at expanding that.
Yes.
Well, how does Jacobs Beach compare with Lake Quanapug with the volume of water flowing through the septic system?
I would say Jacobs is a lot more. I mean, I don't have a number to tell you what it is, but just look at the number of people at picnics, number of people at the beach, and camp alone. It's 130, so 150 people every day, kind of staff.
More people.
Yeah.
So its utilization is definitely stronger at Jacobston as compared to Lake Quanapug.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And we did bring in, we have 2 porta-johns we ordered today. So we have 2 portalets there for camp. So we have those as a backup in case it backs up or to use so it doesn't back up. It's right by the camp, and hopefully we'll get some of the campers and staff to use that. I know it's not as nice as a flush toilet, but it's something.
Okay.
Anything else on building? Okay. Recreation Supervisor Report. Basically, the comment I would have would be the very first thing here is she tells us the names, and a shout out to Joe Ehrlich, Skylar Rascati, Gabe Cohn, Nick Zira, and Sophie Gantus. Lifeguards that have made saves this summer. So kudos to those kids and thanks to them.
Is that normal to have that many?
Well, I don't know what normal is, but I mean, every year we do have some. Ellen and I talked about this. I think we have a certificate we're giving to each of them. I think the Selectman's office, I believe, made a certificate. I think that we were inspired to do this anyway, but Ellen got an email from a parent, just like the ones I was just telling you about, thanking the guards for being real quick to pull her 5-year-old out of the lake. it wasn't a drowning situation, you know, but a save or a rescue is not like CPR and all that. It's just getting somebody out who definitely looked like they were having some trouble. And our guards were very attentive to that. And, you know, again, we got a nice email. I don't know if that was in this. It might have been after this packet went out.
We have it.
Oh, was it in there? Okay.
Yeah, we read it earlier.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Yep.
It's outstanding. Absolutely. You know, when I read that, I was like, wow. I first of all didn't really expect that many. I don't know what I expected, probably nothing, but wow, and excellent and very good.
Yeah, sort of, I mean, like Rick says, they're not huge saves, but it just speaks to the fact that they are attentive to what's going on. They really are, and that's what's important for us, I think.
Yeah, they stopped something. They stopped something before it got worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to me, a save is a save. I got my little 3-year-old. You just met her, and oh my God, if I'd be thrilled if they pulled her out because I missed her
or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, anything else on Ellen's report? The police night out was fun.
It was fantastic.
It was fun.
It was fantastic. And then is this the one that has the lunches in there, or no, is that the next one?
Oh, that's next.
Okay. Yeah. I won't say anything yet.
But one thing I will, you know, if you look at the our guard schedules, speaking of lifeguards, I think we may only have a couple of guards the last week or two. So we're gonna have to decide staffing one beach. Even 2 is really not enough. I think we could do Jacobs, but Ellen and I got to talk about it. I'm almost feeling like if we put lifeguards, it's almost better to put them at the lake because you have to have guards there. You know, I mean, we don't want people swimming at Jacobs without lifeguards, but there's no way to not have them there. I mean, there's no fence around it, you know. And we know that, granted, somebody can drown in 6 inches of water, but, you know, there's that underwater ledge at Lake Quannapock. The guards know where it is. So I think we're going to be down to 2. So we probably aren't going to be able to open both beaches the last 2 weeks of the season. I mean, we have what we have. You know, you got lifeguards there.
The hard part is going to be policing it.
Right. Yeah.
So we will have to talk to someone about how we're going to do that.
Well, so for example, if we do Quannapock with the lifeguards, we have gate guards still available. So we may still have gate guards at Jacobs. So we'll have staff there still checking beach passes and collecting fees. And then there's somebody there. They're not lifeguards, but if there's a problem, there's a staff person there that can get on the phone to somebody.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of, you know, Madison for 2 summers couldn't open their beach. So they hired people just to walk back and forth around the beach. They weren't lifeguards, but the beach was open. People swam. And again, if there was an incident or something, you know, where somebody needed help, there was somebody with a phone that could get a hold of somebody. So we could think about that at Jacobs. Again, she and I have to look at the numbers of people in the water and make a decision. But I'm sort of leaning more toward the lake because more people do swim there than swim at Jacobs.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Seniors report. That's the lunch, Laura.
So my husband was asked to help on that Friday.
Yes, he was there. And over 170, we had 170 people?
He loved it. I'm telling you, I am personally a little dismayed that I was not asked to help, even though I'm on the volunteer list somewhere, but because I had so much fun. Maybe I had too much fun at the last place I helped, but he just had the best time. And he said that everyone does the most amazing job. The people who come there are so appreciative. And he was so excited to see this happening again and be a part of it. So,
Laura, what I would say to you is show up any Friday and they'll appreciate your help.
Oh, okay.
If you're not doing anything Tuesday, August 10th, my daughter's doing a concert. Come to that one.
Yes, matter of fact, put my name on the list, but we will be there for that. Right. Definitely.
Excellent. So August 10th, you said?
Yeah, it's a week from tomorrow.
From tomorrow.
I'm not kidding. I mean, come to anytime. Anytime you want to help is certainly good. It's the people who volunteer to help are great. Rose has done it a bunch of times, and we have seniors who help, and Matt Hoey comes to the large ones to help out.
Lunch, yeah.
It's there were 170 people. We're just getting back to what we used to do.
And now we're going to close back up again, right?
I hope not.
No, not too.
No,
Yeah.
all vaccinated. No.
They are.
Okay, and the buses, we're doing okay with the buses.
Well, almost okay. I mean, you know, thank God we got that van that we got a bunch of years ago. We're using it a lot now. We don't have enough drivers, and we have at least one bus. We're not even going to fix it. It's not worth it. It's old. It's got a lot of miles on it, and it would cost so much to get it back. We have two of them kind of like that. We decided, well, we got to fix one. Let's let the other one go. You know, we may have to move up. I think in 2 years we have on the capital plan to get another bus. We may have to move that up a year. You know, there are days we need 4 buses, and we have 4. And if one's down, we're in trouble.
Could we get by with another van? I mean, then we don't have to have drivers with the CDL.
True. We can talk about that. I think there's some value in that, because a lot of times we're only transporting 3 or 4 people. You know, the van is mostly transporting one, you know, and we got that years ago because it didn't make sense to go to North Guilford or anywhere to pick up one person in a 20 passenger bus. Or if we have to go to VA in West Haven,
exactly,
what 20 passenger bus, you know, unless the person needs a lift, you know, for a wheelchair.
That's a different story. Yeah.
Yeah. But
for a lot of these people, we could put 4 or 5 people in a van.
We could. The problem is some of the older people have trouble getting in. You know what I mean? It's hard to get into a van for some folks. Okay. But the ones that we can, we're using it. And we did hire a driver who has that passenger endorsement. We have another one who's going through the process, and a third one who has expressed interest. And I think, so we may have 3.
Okay, great then. Okay.
But one van, but they all don't want to work every day anyway. So we, you know, Terry can mix it up. I'm
just thinking, you know, I knew we had trouble getting bus drivers. I was thinking maybe it might have been easier to find van drivers than bus drivers. That's all.
True. Yep, that's a good point. Maybe when we start budget process in October, November, we can maybe look into it. Because the other van that we just got for the recreation staff, you can't drive people in because it's not a passenger. I mean, it is. It's a Dodge Caravan or whatever it is, Honda Odyssey. But you have to have special plates for it and all that. If you're driving people, we don't. It's just a regular Guilford.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? But our ridership, I notice, is going up, and the meals served are going up. So we're getting back to normal.
Right.
Okay. And some good trips coming up. Okay. The Parks Foreman report. Any questions, comments? Busy.
This is something that's not on here. Tony and I met with Steve Neidorf from Facilities and Tom Fillion from Public Works at the, it was the Rail Technologies building. It's that big garage right across from the Parks garage down there.
Right.
And the couple of acres of parking behind it. So we're kind of divvying up who's going to get what and use what space there. So we met down there today to kind of start figuring that out and start moving things in here pretty soon. There's some renovations that have to be done. So here's the thing. We're going to move Tony's office there in a lunch area, room for the guys. Then we can get rid of that trailer and stop paying for the rental of the trailer behind the garage. So that'll be a nice move for us. They'll have the trailer works well, but they'll have this building now, and they'll have they'll have to build a lunchroom there. It's just kind of a wide open space right now. But, our guys can do most of that work, ourselves or Steve's guys.
So you know what my question is. It does have a bathroom.
It does. It's got 2 of them. And one with a shower.
At last.
Nice tile wall is beautiful. Wallpapered is very nice.
Just that's my biggest concern, that they had facilities for themselves. So
right.
So we should be making. So they're still going to have to go back to the garage.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be some workspace in this, but actually, there's a workshop. So if they're building picnic tables or painting or sharpening mower blades, they can do it here. The garage, there'll be more for storing vehicles.
Good. Okay.
So it actually be a good thing, for Steve Neidorf's guys, our guys. Public Works have a little bit of access there. But I know the first selectman would like to get all of our departments to clear things out of the old Public Works garage on Boston Street. But we can't clear it out so we can put it somewhere. And even that, there's no way everything in that garage would fit in this place anyway. So I don't think that's going to happen real soon. But we'll start working toward that end. Because the new building is probably at least 5 years away. The new Parks Rec,
At least, yeah.
Public Works maintenance garage.
Okay. You know, refresh. I'm looking here where it says stage move for concerts and events. We are looking to get a new one. Didn't we put it in capital improvements?
Yeah, I think it's 2 years out.
Is it 2 years out? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We were commenting on how anything that happens on the green, the stage is there. It's really amazingly so.
It was there yesterday for the Jewish festival too.
That's when Dennis said to me, you know, that stage is always open here for something. So yeah.
Yeah.
The Jewish festival was also a brilliant event on the green.
It was.
I'm telling you, my family has partaken every summer activity so far that they can do, and it's just been amazing. As
was the taco festival at the fairgrounds too.
I didn't do that because
that was mob. That parking lot was totally packed.
Was mob, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, we're lucky. We've got a lot of great things happening in town.
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone today also who had such good things to say about the Jewish festival.
Yeah. So. We used to go, yeah, it is fun. We've gone for years. Okay, let's get to our report. Standing fields. Hey, John, can you hear us?
Standing fields. Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi there.
Hi there.
The Fields Committee did that they had a very good spring and summer. The high school field is progressing. John Kennedy meets with the general contractor of the field every Wednesday morning around 9 o'clock, and he does invite any of the commission members if they want to attend. Just meet them there up at the field, and they can go over the progress of the construction. Still looks like until the middle to end of October before the field will be completed. But otherwise, all the other fields are in tip-top shape. The one field that maybe, Rick, if I remember correctly, the lower Cox field is going to be pulled out of service so it could be top-dressed and seeded this fall. Is that correct?
Well, I think we're going to put it off to next spring or summer, but we're going to put irrigation in. But originally, but the cost of everything, the costs are so high. You're hoping that they'll come down. The irrigation materials cost has gone up about 30%. So and actually the Board of Selectmen, Board of Finance actually pushed that off to next year's budget anyway. It was originally in this year's budget. They pushed it off to next year. So we'll go out to bid. We have a KBA Associates, the architectural firm, is going to write the specs for that. But to your point, John, originally we thought we're going to have to rip that whole field up, resod it and grade it.
Right.
But we met down there and they said the field's actually it's in really good shape. It's better condition than it's been in years because nobody's been on it much, the last 2 years. And so it's coming back fairly well. So we're, to John's point, we're just going to top dress it, seed it, and then irrigate it. But that irrigation money will be in next year's budget. So we'll do that like next July, probably, about a year from now. But it is in good shape.
Well, and this is not part of the Fields Committee, but it's a direct association with the Fields. I did want to give a public shout out to Anthony and his crew. They did have the Sting softball tournament this weekend where they used both the two high school fields and the two fields over at Bittner Park. And I worked at Bittner all weekend. I met families from Western Massachusetts, Norwich, Fairfield County, and everybody was favorably impressed as to how great our fields looked. There was absolutely, everybody was charmed as to how beautiful Bittner Park looked for them. And, it goes through the hard work of the people who do the work. And, Anthony and his crew had everything prepared, and there was not one negative discussion about how the field could have possibly affected play, other than the fact we lost a ton of softballs over the lower Bittner field. They ended up on the other side of the West River. But it was a great weekend. It turned out to be a beautiful, beautiful program. They used both Bittner and the high school, and they were also in Killingworth and in North Branford as well. And that's my finish right there.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Okay, Green Committee, anything to?
No meeting.
Okay. Land acquisition.
No meeting.
No meeting. Splash pad, Claire's not here, but I think they're just continuing to try and raise some funds.
I'd like to say something about the splash pad and the funds, and the same because I'm on Park and Rec. So as a tax person, I've actually done some research into whether or not our donations to the town for the splash pad and for things that we're doing at Park and Rec are actually tax deductible on one's tax return. And I believe it is. And I've written to Mary Jane on our behalf, with just to say, here's what I think, here's the revenue, the Rev Proc number, etc. What do you think? Will you ask the town tax person if they think our donations are actually tax deductible, which is a really good thing to be able to say if you're asking for donations to splash pad, etc. And I think that the reasoning is that it is because it's for public use. And so I haven't gotten a response from Mary Jane yet, but I'm working on that because I think that would be a great thing for any of them, but especially the splash pad. So I'll leave it at that. And if I hear something, I'll pass it around to everybody.
Wow, thank you. It's great. Thanks a lot.
I mean, it may come to nothing, but I think I did some research into tax law, and I believe it's deductible. But
I hope so.
It'd be nice. Be very nice.
I donated last year, so I hope so.
Well, there's a difference between a gift and a tax, and this is a gift. So gifts are still, as my limited amount of tax knowledge is, other than just reading it through the books, is that it is tax deductible.
Okay.
So yeah, so it depends on our, I mean, I think our tax status is a 501 something, but nobody can tell me.
For sure.
So that's the first thing we need to look at. And then the second is whether or not a municipal gift, and it would be a municipal gift, would be tax deductible. And in my readings, I agree. I think it is tax deductible. So we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. Good. Thank you. All right. Pickleball. Do we have an estimated time of finishing?
No, we've had some problems. Turned out there was a 12-inch diameter pipe underneath the area they had already compacted in two areas. The pipe was from, remember we used to flood the ice, the rink, and ice rink, flood it and drain it. It was from that. Nobody seemed to know where that was or forgot about it. We didn't know it was there, but the contractor found a catch basin when he was digging up, that there's this catch basin about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 or 12 inches underground. And it's in an area that was on the very edge of the court. But then the pipe went right underneath them, everything they had already compacted. So 3 engineers all agreed it had to be taken out. They were concerned over time with the weight of that post-tension concrete that it might cause the pipe to collapse or crush. So it had to be dug out. And so to save a little money, Public Works did it for us on a Friday afternoon and a Saturday morning. And I was there to check on it when they were doing it. So we're just waiting for the contractor to come back now and bury the ditches back up and compact them. They got to compact every foot. So they put a foot of soil down, they're going to compact with a roller, another foot compact to keep doing it, layers all the way up. It's unfortunate because there was all, then
what happened?
I don't know.
Oh,
we're back.
We're back. Wow. But this happened a while ago, didn't it, Rick?
Well, it was dug up just over a week ago.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And so the contractor, they went on to another job somewhere else, and they were going to come back today, but their truck they used to haul the excavator is broken, so they're thinking they're going to get there by Wednesday, you know, have our engineer of the project meet with them up there to kind of get that all done. They were almost done with it, almost done with the leveling and everything, and then this was discovered and had to happen. And you know, there will be a change order. Obviously, it wasn't their fault. There'll be some extra cost for filling that hole back in, but at least we saved a lot of money from them doing all the digging,
right,
hauling material. You know, so anyway, there will be some extra costs. I don't know what that's going to be yet.
All right, but do we have any idea when this might get done?
Well, it was good. The original target date was September 1st. I'm going to say maybe hopefully mid-September.
Okay.
Just have to set it back a little bit.
All right. Well, that's not too bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Box lacrosse. How are we doing there?
So I was supposed to meet with or talk to the fire department. So I met there with Mike Shaw, the assistant fire chief, and Adam Cologne. He's the one who gave the presentation. We met there at Nut Plains, and yeah, Mike said it definitely would have to be some improvements to that roadway going down if an ambulance had to get in there. We did look at another option though. If they drive straight across the field, well, it's not even on the field, it's really to the side of the field, above the woods, you know, kind of parallel to that road.
And come in the way.
There is a path that could be widened. There's actually a short distance to go from there down to where the box lacrosse would be. That's another option. He did say though, even that though, he'd like to have it be stone so that, you know, if they're there in a rainy spring, you have to get down or whatever, they're not, you know, driving through muck. So either way, the lacrosse folks know that that'll be their responsibility to make a proposal of which way to go and make those improvements. That we can't pave it. We know we're not going to pave it, but it's probably just some stone and rolling it. Maybe if we go down the dirt road like we walk down there, maybe trimming back some branches so that, you know, truck can get in there. But either way, Mike was okay either way. He just said there have to be some improvements before it could open.
Okay. As long as lacrosse is aware of it and they're going to take care of it, that's fine.
They're aware of it.
Okay. Okay, the private property, public access beach sign, the sign at Jacobs Beach. So we did meet there, Rick, Tara, you were there, I was there with Joe Nugent and who, Janet
Ainsworth.
And who was the?
Ellen.
Ellen Eber.
Ellen Eber.
Yeah.
Right. So actually we walked it, we talked a lot, and we came up with what we think is a good solution. But I forgot exactly what the sign's supposed to say, Rick. You should know.
Maybe you can. So I think it said Jacobs Park ends, right?
Yes.
As long as they say private property, it's Jacobs Park ends, and then what was the other one? Public access.
I think it was public trust begins or something like that.
Trust. I forgot the exact
word.
Just
in the exact same place where the sign that says private property is, like, not going to be. It's replacing something that's already there.
And it's only going to be, if anything, just a hair larger, not much larger, just enough to fit the lettering.
Right. I think you're right. It was Jacobs Beach Park ends, public trust begins. Right. And I don't know if we finally figured out who's paying for that, but it's probably about $60. It's not a huge cost for the sign. So I don't know if you want us to just do it or me to go back to Joe and say, hey, you guys come up with the money and we'll put it up.
Why don't we share the cost just for the heck of it so we both have some ownership to it? Okay. Is that okay with everybody?
Fine by me.
Okay. I think we could just get a consensus on this because we know we need to keep a sign there. So. Well,
at the very least, you know what I'll do? I'll order the sign. We can order. We'll go through the guy who does all the other signs for us. And then when we get the bill, I can haggle with him a little bit.
But before you order the sign, just double check with Joe and the other people to make sure that it's the wording that we, you know, to be perfectly safe that that's what we decided the wording was. Because it's.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is if it's our sign, we should pay for it 100%. I mean, right? It's a sign up there.
Well, it's a sign for both. it's a sign to tell people that our park is ending. And in fact, it's their sign in that their public access is starting.
But it's going to be,
but it's just one sign.
yeah,
it's just one sign.
right.
But I think they agreed to share the cost with us. Just so that we both have some ownership to it, I think is not a bad idea.
It's very nice over there. It's a nice walk.
It was nice.
It was.
I never walked that far down. It was really nice.
It was. Except I paid for it for about 3 days with all the bug bites.
Yeah, I will never ever meet you guys at Jacobs at that hour to walk down there without bug spray.
Long pants, sneakers. Yeah. Yeah, it was brutal, but it was a good. It was all in all. It was I thought it was a very good meeting. We had really good conversations.
Yeah,
and it went very well.
I agree.
So thanks to them and you guys who came. So. Okay, trash at Jacobs. So fill us in.
So we tried something. We talked about this last meeting, and we tried eliminating it was 7 barrels between trash and recycling. So on a Friday, I had the camp staff take all those barrels by the picnic pavilion and bring them into the storage container down there, and then bring them back out on Monday. And Shauna, who does all the reservations for the picnic pavilions, she called everybody, who had a picnic scheduled that weekend, and told them, you need to bag your trash. There will be no barrels there. Bag your trash and bring it out. Don't leave it there. The following Monday, Joe Sullivan, one of our maintenance guys who was doing trash that day, he spent 45 minutes picking up litter all over the ground. And it wasn't by the pavilion, it was over by the grass area by the beach. My concern, a lot of concerns about it, but one of them is if that happened on Saturday, then on Sunday, people who came to the beach saw a bunch of trash all over the ground, and that doesn't reflect well on any of us. So I'm thinking that didn't work very well. So last weekend, the barrels were left out. Again, Shauna told everybody, you got whatever trash you have, bring it out. I'm not sure people are doing that because the barrels were full, but the barrels were full. There was nothing on the ground. There was no litter on the ground. Well, I shouldn't say any. Sometimes the lid flips open and seagulls get in there, but not like 45 minutes worth. So, we're really, our season winding down in a few weeks. My recommendation, proposal, whatever is, let's get through the rest of the season. Let's keep whatever barrels we need to keep. And Lawrence, I know you made a comment that, and I don't think anybody disagrees, it doesn't look great with all these trash barrels down there. But I think it looks better to have barrels with trash in them than not have barrels of trash or litter on the ground. So my suggestion is let's status quo for the rest of this year. Maybe we talk about next year as we go into the season that if we really, really want to enforce the garbage thing, people trading their stuff out, then we implement a fee like Clinton does. And my counterpart there says it's very successful. They charge $100 deposit. If the place is clean, no trash, they get their money back, on the following Monday or Tuesday. I think we're midstream. We already have people reserving it all the way up through into October. And to now go back to those people and say, now you got to give us a $100 deposit. I think we're better off. Let's stay status quo. We know there's an issue. And let's talk about it in fall, winter, before next season. And if we want to start something different, we start fresh at the very beginning.
Okay.
Rick,
I agree with you, Rick. I think it's probably the wrong time in the season to start trying to change behavior. As much as I don't like having trash barrels around in the picnic areas and having people pack it in and pack it out. I would like to say though, at Bittner Park this weekend, people packed it in and they packed it out and they cleaned up the dugout. They took everything with them. Wow. So it's just a matter of, all it takes is just one person to mess things up, and then it'll be monkey see, monkey do, and people will take the path of least resistance and screw it up for everybody else. But I think you're right. I think at this point in time, the season's going to be only about another 3-4 weeks. Let's keep the place clean, and then we'll worry about it during the fall.
Yeah.
Lawrence, you had something?
No, I was just saying, Rick, they probably wouldn't, you told the people that they couldn't, when you didn't put any cans by the pavilion and the other cans were one of your workers had to clean up all the trash. So the people that had the pavilion must just carry it all over to the other cans, right? And those got filled up and.
Probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We left somewhere by the grassy area. You know, we had to keep something there for just people at the beach. So they had a, water bottle or, they didn't know about taking their stuff out, but, or lemonades, lemon guys there and they got, cups or somebody, goes and has their own lunch down there or their concert, so he has a pizza or, whatever, they got a place to put it. So we left those barrels there that were by the grass area. When I say the grass area, I mean the strip, by the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, not to be pessimistic, but the garbage issue, the garbage problem, it's just going to get worse before it gets better, just because of people's attitudes and, they just don't care.
Yeah, unfortunately, recycling does not work in the parks. It doesn't, because people are throwing trash or doggy bags in the recycle barrels and it's contaminated. Then it ends up in the trash. The only place that recycling is really working is at town buildings. The community center, town hall, the food bank. We pick up their boxes and we recycle that stuff. But it doesn't work it's not working in the parks because people aren't doing it.
Yeah, even if you put cans down there that just have a little hole where you can put the recyclables in, even if you did that, I guarantee they're just going to put garbage in the hole.
Yeah. That's what's been happening. It's too bad.
It is. Okay. Okay, new business. We have talked about the lifeguards. And I think our last thing under new business are the commemorative benches and chairs. And Rick, you included this in our packet.
Yeah, that's the list that you and Claire had come up with a couple of years ago, I think, of the maximum number at each place.
Right.
And I think we said at Jacobs there, I believe it's 12 Adirondack chairs. So there's room for 3 more based on, the list you guys came up with. So if, if people want to donate an Adirondack chair, then, we have room to do it there if you want to do that.
Yeah, we also have room for the park benches there too, so.
Right.
That's what I was wondering is those are the total numbers, but where we are.
That, you know what? You're right. And I haven't really kept good track of that. So I think maybe what we need to do is just take a day and go check out some of these parks and count them and make sure that where we are at this point. We did have a chart that told us where we were, but this was been about now 2 years since we really did that.
So I'm sure things have changed.
It might be time to go back, Rick, and just take a look at these and count up what we have there.
And Rose, I think I'm just thinking back to the last meeting. I think one of the reasons we put this on here is that, and it might have been John, but somebody was talking about, do we still want to keep having our parks be memorial parks? Are we memorialized out? I think that was part of the question. I think that's part of the reason this was on the agenda.
I think when we talked about a memorial, we were talking more about Chaffinch, where we have those stone benches that look very much like a memorial. And we said no more of those, but I don't think we're parked out of the park benches because they just have a little plaque on them. They don't look like a memorial. They look more like a place to go and relax.
Right.
They're functional. It's different than the stone ones.
It's different than the stone ones. The stone ones, you see stone ones. You don't see Adirondack chairs in cemeteries.
Right.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this.
Chairs are more comfortable and the benches than those stone things.
Yeah, absolutely.
More inviting.
And I think, I think we wanted to get away from those. So and we have gotten away from those.
I've been thinking about this lately. I think we're at the point now we should just get out of the business of doing this. For a lot of reasons, we're oversaturated. It's just, I don't know. We should get out of the business of putting people's names on benches, or I don't think it's for the common good. I don't think it really serves the common good. But
I think
my thoughts.
Helpful with these total numbers we have if we actually knew how many potential memorial, you know, things we have, because there may not be that much room left anyway. I don't know that. I mean, if you said there's 3 chairs we could do at Jacobs Beach, that's out of 15.
Yeah.
You know,
the bottom line is, I mean, it's nice that people donate a bench, whatever, but when you do something like that, there's 6 people that get, I don't know, get satisfaction out of that. I mean, obviously people are going to sit in the chair. They don't know who the person is, but how many people get satisfaction? You know, just the family members. They're the only ones that are, you know, touched by it.
I have to admit, when I sit on the benches.
What that was?
I think that, I think the chairs, you know, it wouldn't hurt to have 3 more chairs at Jacobs, because people sit in those all the time. I'm talking about chairs because they're movable. The benches aren't. They're permanent. Yeah. But if you want to, you know, we have 12. We said you could go up to 15. So if there are 3 more people who want to donate a chair, and normally if somebody wants to donate a chair, they want something on it. Yeah. Keep in mind, we're talking, the nameplate is about 3 inches by, you know, they're little. They're not big plaques or anything. And quite frankly, they're not all that noticeable, you know, really. They don't stand out. But I think that, well, Rose, you know, you're down there at the concerts, you know, the people are always sitting.
They're always sitting on the chairs. They're comfortable.
You know, I think
and they're under the trees, I might add.
Right. And I think at some point, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a couple more trees there. There were 2 more on the plan. They got taken out because of, you know, people were resisting that. But now that's where people flock. They flock to those shaded areas. Yeah. So, I mean, that's something we can talk about with John Cunningham someday, you know, the landscape architect. But at the very least, you know, we could put, you know, somebody comes forward and wants to donate a chair. I think, you know, we got room for them still down there.
We do. So why don't we just sort of table this for now, and I'll try to get it out there and see what we already have, what we have room for, and see where we stand. I think that's important to know where we stand.
Okay. So maybe revise the list.
Well, no. The list, this is the maximum number. What we're saying is we don't know what the actual number.
Okay.
So, I mean, are there actually 3 park benches at Mill Pond? We, you know.
There are. Yes, there are.
So that we have filled. Okay. So this is what we need to go back and look at.
Yeah.
You know, are there 3 park benches at Bittner? Now, I don't think we have one near the pickleball court, do we?
No.
But that's a possibility to put one up there. It might be handy for these people up there if somebody wanted to donate something along that line. So I think we need to go and look to see what we actually have, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other new business? Any other business at all?
I just wanted to remind the commission that our September meeting is the 2nd Monday because of the Labor Day holiday. So it's September the 13th.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.
Okay. Anything else?
Hey, can I ask Nick a question? Nick, regarding the whole COVID, because you're in that profession. I know it's not part of the meeting, Rose. I don't know if you want me to.
That's okay.
But you know.
Do you want to end the meeting and then talk, or what do you want to do?
Okay, yeah, because I was just going to ask him, you know, going forward, what do we think is going to be happening, and as far as dinners and concerts and lunches and everything else that we're doing. I know it's going to come directly from our health people, but Nick's in that. He's in that profession.
Okay.
So I'll say this: I did some research here this past week because obviously all the hospitals in Connecticut. So I moved out of COVID. I'm in the emergency room up in New Britain General now. But I did do some research into it because obviously with everything coming back now, it begs the question: what do we do? So over the past 10 years, the flu shot has had an average vaccination rate of 49.2%. Obviously, the years vary, but on average, 49.2%. Anybody want to take a wild guess what the COVID vaccination rate is right now?
In Connecticut?
49.2%.
It's what?
It's 49.2%, as is the flu shot over the past 10 years. And the flu shot is the equivalent of throwing a dart against a dartboard, and the CDC has come out and said that many times. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are slightly less than twice as effective. as the flu shot usually is. Again, I think the flu shot was somewhere in the 40s in terms of effectiveness every year. So it's a tough situation. Like in the central region at Mid-State and then New Britain General, we have 12 people that are COVID positive that are inpatient right now. And all 12 are unvaccinated. And my question is, and I've had this conversation a number of times, is what do you do? Because if someone wants to get vaccinated, they've been vaccinated, unless their employer or there's some mandate that they have to get it. You're not going to see 20% more people get this done. So I don't, to answer your question, Rick, I don't have one as to what the next steps are going to be, but I think it'll be very, very interesting, considering that I don't know what more you can do to get people to be more safe unless masks are our new reality. But again, that's up to the government. We made Hartford Healthcare, I won't speak for Yale, but Hartford Healthcare didn't make a lot of these decisions. This came down from, a lot of our decisions come down from the Connecticut Hospital Association, which every major healthcare system in Connecticut is a part of. But I think that'll be an interesting conversation. Nothing on the public side is really going to change on an individual level, in my opinion.
Rick, hey Nick, I didn't hear you. What was the vaccination rate for COVID?
49 fully vaccinated is 49.2%. I think one dose was like 57, something like that.
And that you're talking about countrywide or?
Countrywide, and the flu shot was the exact same over a 10-year average.
Wow.
Are they including the kids under 12 who can't get vaccinated in that number? Or is that just
no?
Eligible?
Oh, yes, that is. I believe that's eligible vaccinated, so 12 and over.
So it's the same level as the regular flu vaccine, right?
It's the exact same, and obviously there's a million and one things that go into it, like the infection rates and those types of things. But you're at the point now, if you just take the numbers and what a lot of people compare it to, we're at a very similar level from a prevention perspective with COVID as we are with the flu. And obviously the flu is very scary for some people. And I always, whenever people have that question, I always compare it to the flu, where most of us, we get very sick for a week, we're, laid up, but flu kills people, as does COVID. That usually resonates with people. A lot of people, a handful of people on my team have to get vaccinated. They will lose their job. And that's the conversation that you have, because a respiratory infection, no one knows, but everybody knows what the flu feels like. But it's easy for me. I work in an emergency room.
So do you think we're headed for another shutdown or just masks? I know you can't say. But
I don't. I think in my opinion, I think a shutdown. What are you going to do? You're going to shut? Because it goes back to what can you change that's going to get us out of this? I understand the mask thing at this point until we understand this Delta variant a little bit better, but you can't. I don't know what you're going to change with that, and I think that's why you saw this recommendation come out where. They said, oh, masks indoors, but you haven't heard anything from the government yet. And I think I don't know what they're thinking up in Hartford, but you have to wonder, what can you do? I mean, do a masks indoors help? Sure. But, for the elderly, the only people who we see as the breakthroughs in ICUs are people, over the age 65, 70, and they had 1,000,001, and I don't mean to poo-poo them, but they have 1,000,001 things wrong with them long before they contracted COVID, even if they were vaccinated.
Right.
If you have COPD, if you have these heart issues, this was just happened to be the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah. And these numbers don't take into effect the people who have already had COVID. So I know there are a lot of young children. This little girl here had COVID already. But we are still, every time she gets a cold, we're still forced to go do the COVID test and keep her home for 3 days. So none of those numbers take that into effect, I think, either. So it'll be interesting. I'm just praying that we just get through this, because it's wearing on everybody, and it's hard for people to do their work, and you don't know what to do. You don't know. You know, I went to the grocery store and I thought, oh my God, I don't have a mask. What am I going to do? I need the food for her. It's not there yet, but
you know, and I think it's just a matter. It's, you know, I hope we go in this direction, but you hope that it's just, you know, in the, you know, the bars and the restaurants and the, you know, venues like that, where you do have to wear a mask for a period of time, just as a precautionary measure, and hope that's what kind of leads us out of this for the time being. And, you know, we can either make some sort of decision where you meet in the middle and go from there. But I am certainly not the one making those decisions.
No.
Well, the town offices, the selectmen sent a thing out today that everyone, vaccinated or not, not in the office, but in the building. So in our office, if we go out in the hallway, there's seniors, senior programs, if they're playing cards or whatever, they got to wear a mask again. And I asked Sonia about lunch. She said, no, because hey, we're just built up. We just got 170 people, right, Rose, for lunch last week. And, you know, she said, no, you don't have to cancel lunches. But I think
I don't think we're going to have
maybe reluctant
that big again, though. So
yeah, and they're 99% of them are vaccinated.
Yes.
You know, so far we haven't closed any of that down or any of our programs at this point. But and I guess I should let you know too, we had a couple of incidences at camp that are being dealt with today. So we have a couple of kids that have it, and Ellen's working hard on it pretty much all day today with Sonia. So hopefully it doesn't spread too much, but we are aware of at least a few.
So does that mean a quarantine for all of you, or?
No, just for those campers, and yeah, just for one particular grade. Just like in school, if there was a sixth grade, you know, Baldwin's, you know, the school might announce that somebody was sick, and those kids are within, you know, contact of that child, have to quarantine. So or stay out of camp, and that's in our case, they got to stay out for I think 10 days, which probably going to eliminate the rest. There's only this week and next week left.
Right.
Well, we're kind of in my household. We're all hoping everybody gets this out of their system so the kids can go back to school.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, let's all get it and get it done with. And you know, I'm making light, but I don't mean to make light of it. But for those, you know, let's just get through this, get it going so that they can go back to school in September or whenever they start.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have a very busy background behind me here.
She's adorable. Enjoy your night.
Love it.
Okay. Any other business? Motion to adjourn, someone, please.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
And Tara,
Second.
now everybody seconds everything, right?
Okay.
Thank you all. Stay safe, and we will see you September 12th, right?
Excellent. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.